To get further information, please refer to the ECP installation guide, specifically Chapter 14, Docker Support. ECCo SP is delivered with Docker images, which are available at Docker Hub. Go to hub.docker.com website and log in with your own account. In case new account is created, its ID needs to be provided to ENTSO-E in order to see the private repository named ENTSO-E. The Docker images are available for all ECP and EDX components and are tagged with their version. At first, prepare the ECCo SP Docker test environment zip file to the server where the Docker is installed and log in to your Docker account. Now, extract all files from the ECCo SP Docker test environment zip file, which is provided along with the other ECCo SP installers. After the extraction is done, it's necessary to change the permissions of folders to 777 for the Docker environment to work properly. The test environment contains all available ECP and EDX components types using one container instance per component type, which can be checked in the docker compose.yaml file. For each component there is a specific Docker image and container name, followed by volumes and default ports mapping. Additional JVM parameters can be specified, and network to which the component will be added can be updated. For all ECP and EDX components, default folders are provided in the test environment zip file. Specifically, config data, logs and directory for the broker. In the config folder, there are all necessary configuration files, for example ECP or EDX.properties. In the data folder, there is a database folder in key stores. The logs folder is empty. 6 components are defined in the docker compose.yaml file, specifically component directory, endpoint for catalog, endpoint for toolbox, broker, service catalog and toolbox. The delivered testing Docker Compose configuration can be edited manually, as well as configuration files for any specific component. To add a new endpoint or toolbox, copy the whole configuration part of the existing component and update all mandatory parameters. At least the container name, volumes and ports need to be changed to start the Docker container and to be able to log in GUI of desired component. The component can be mounted with pre-existing database, configuration files and folders, or it can be started only with the mounted logs folder, in which case the volumes for config and data folders have to be deleted from the configuration. The database configuration files and folders will be created in the appropriate Docker container after the start of the Docker Compose. These folders can be copied out of the container and volumes need to be set afterwards. It's recommended to store your data outside the Docker container, either by mounting a data directory on your Docker host to the volume inside the container or by using an external database. When the updated docker compose.yaml file is saved, folders for the new endpoint, toolbox and their log files need to be created and the permission need to be set to 777. Required versions of ECP and EDX applications can be specified in the env file, or it's possible to use the default value latest. In this case, the ECP 4.8.0 and the EDX 1.9.0 will be used. Save the file. The Docker environment can be started using the docker compose up or docker compose upd command to run the Docker images with or without the real-time login. Download of Docker images from the Docker Hub can be seen when the Docker compose is started for the first time. The status of all containers can be verified using the docker's ps command. Now it's possible to open the graphical user interface via web browser. The URL contains of the HTTPS, your Docker server IP, and the configured port of desired component, which is the ECP endpoint in this case. The loading process can take a few seconds. When the page is loaded, it's possible to log in. The endpoint is successfully installed and prepared for the registration process. To open the graphical user interface of other ECP or EDX component, change the point in URL, for example to the port of EDX toolbox, and log in. As we can see, the installation has been successful and it's possible to display the messages screen of the toolbox. The version of EDX application is 1.9.0.